Good morning. It is so wonderful to see so many friends, so many folks here today. So we're going to get started so that we can be on time. If you're still getting food, that's fine. We are going to start, however, with a Sheriff's Honor Guard. And so if you would pause, if you are in the food line or chatting with friends, if you don't mind pausing for a moment and stand while the Sheriff's Office Honor Guard posts the colors, please. So good morning, everyone. I'm Nancy Jackson, Chair of the Arapahoe County Board of Commissioners, and we want to welcome you all. It's a fantastic group today to our very first State of the County address. Now, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Please sit down and continue eating or getting some more food at the tables there. We'll start our program now. We have a lot of special VIPs in our room today. I'd like to acknowledge our VIPs this morning. We've got a lot of them. So unfortunately, Commissioner Warren Gully, representing District 1, can't be here with us today, but she's going to join us later with a video. We have Commissioner Nancy Sharp, right here. Commissioner Jeff Baker, District 3. Commissioner Bill Holen. We have our assessor, P.K. Kaiser. our coroner, Kelly Lear, our clerk and recorder, Joan Lopez, and our sheriff, Tyler Brown. Unfortunately, again, Treasurer Sue Sandstrom could not be here today. She sends her regards. I don't know if District Attorney John Kellner is here yet, but he is? Okay, thank you. So wherever you are, John. We also have many of our mayors and city council members here today. Would you please stand so we can recognize you? I know we have a lot of them. Please, let us say hello. Thank you all for being our partners. In the audience today, we also have many of our economic development partners, our cultural and educational partners, nonprofit friends, business leaders, small business owners, and residents. We welcome you all, and we're really excited to have you here on our very first inaugural State of the County address. We'd like to just mention some very special guests. I'm trying to see if someone has walked in just now, but a little over a year ago, we began our journey to strengthen our ties to the original inhabitants of this land. Over the course of the year, we've been able to meet several times with the members of the Northern Arapahoe tribe. Yesterday, we were honored and thrilled to sign an official memorandum of agreement with the tribe to codify our new relationship. This agreement gives us better access to tribal leadership on matters of interest to both the county and the tribe. It's been a long time in the making, and we're still radiating from the ceremony yesterday. It was truly a moving experience. And I see at least one of the members here this morning, so welcome. Please help me welcome our friends from the Northern Arapahoe tribe. We've got a few of that group here with us so far this morning, and we can't wait for you to meet our special guests in ceremonies and events that we have throughout the year. As the State of the County address is new for us, and a lot of you have asked, why now? There's a few reasons. First of all, we haven't seen a lot of you since COVID, and a lot of other reasons. We've had an immense amount of change across the county in a really short amount of time. We've worked fast and furiously over the past 2 years, and the pace is not slowing. There's the DA. Good morning, sir. Now we're setting our sights on the work ahead, and we're ready to apply a purposeful and measured approach to governance that will take us well into the future. We're doing some amazing work here at the county, and really, we want to brag a little bit. We also, it's not in the script, we also want to thank our amazing staff who have really supported us and helped us all through these changes and helped us set this occasion up. So let's hear it for Arapahoe County staff. Thank you all. Okay. So we're going to set the stage for what's next for Arapahoe County. That means talking about the future and some of the challenges and opportunities that await us. So we'll jump right into it. Let's begin with some situational awareness. Well, a big chunk of our time has been committed to responding to COVID-19 and recovery over the last 2 years with great success. We're absolutely energized about getting back to the business of running the county. So let me provide some context to what you're going to hear this morning. Arapahoe County is the third largest county in the state of Colorado, and we're expected to be the largest within the next decade. Our fast rate of growth and our desire to manage that growth responsibly comes with its own challenges, and our Board of Commissioners is meeting those challenges head on. We want what's best for the county and for our residents, and we always keep that in mind as we make decisions. Our 2022 Arapahoe County budget is $450.9 million, half of which is funded by property taxes that remain governed by the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, otherwise known as TABOR. That funding stream gives us some unique constraints, especially in the light of some of the other big challenges in front of us. We'll talk more about those challenges later on in the program. I don't have to tell anyone in this room about the breadth and depth of programs and services that we provide with that budget. Today, we're going to share some of that with you. Also, as we dig into our accomplishments, I do want to remind everyone that this is only a small percentage of the great work that happens in Arapahoe County every day. Speaking of accomplishments, I'd like to point out that we had a primary election yesterday. Our clerk and recorder's office and the elections division, as they always do, makes everything look so seamless, and that's because of all the hard work they put into elections year-round. So thank you. Some of the folks are sitting here. The elections team makes sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. It's a lot of very detailed work, and they do it thoroughly and enthusiastically to ensure that our voting is safe and accurate. We only have you for a short time this morning, so we'll be touching on the highlights of our work. We urge you to look through our new online annual report, as well as at some of the other department and office reports that we will have in the back of the room. Now I'd like to bring up my fellow Commissioner Nancy Sharp to talk about economic development and recovery.
Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. It's great to be with you all this morning, and this reminds me of Boots Not Suits, which is coming up soon, so I hope you'll all join us for that wonderful event too. So economic development is extremely important to this county and and to our board, and it's hard to talk about that without being in the context of COVID. So let's start there. In the early days of the pandemic, one of our first concerns was how to help our local businesses. Small businesses are vital to our economy, as all of us know, and form the commercial and cultural essence of our communities. When faced with crippling financial losses, many of the businesses didn't know how they would pay rent or the mortgages on their property. Many feared shutting their doors forever. That's where Arapahoe County came in with our rent rescue program. Through our Arapahoe Douglas Workforce Center, we helped 112 businesses with nearly $4.5 million in relief grant funding so they could stabilize and reopen. This is in addition to $2.5 million we allocated for general small business support. We also distributed monies from the American Rescue Plan to fund these grants and help our economy recover.
I'm looking forward to the day when the COVID-19 pandemic and the impact of it is a very distant memory. But there are some things from this time that I want to make sure we don't forget. While it is a time of fear, grief, and uncertainty, it was also a time when our communities came together to support and lift one another.
So I'm Jamie Elward Blades. The name of my fabulous restaurant is One Barrel. We are located in Englewood. One Barrel, we try to make it a little bit more of an experience. Patrons, they're not just people that come in, they're people that come in weekly, monthly, a couple times a year, and we hug and we get excited. 2020 hit. We had only been in business for a year and a couple months. It really hit us hard. We're family owned. We put kind of everything into this. It was really scary trying to figure out if we were going to make it on the other side. If it wasn't for grants, Arapahoe County, City of Englewood, we wouldn't have made it out. Our menu isn't really meant for to-goes. A lot of people don't necessarily think of us for to-goes, and we ended up losing money. And we only stayed open to really try and keep our employees busy and making money so that they could be here. We were trying to figure out a different way of helping us make sure that we came out the other side, but we had no idea where to start.
The county helped more than 1,000 small to medium-sized businesses to stabilize, purchase PPE so they could reopen safely, keep their employees on board, and hopefully save them from shutting down for good.
But they did a wonderful job with the local part of it. I couldn't ask for a better support system than what we had would. Definitely did a wonderful job at helping us and making sure that we could figure out all the different grants that were offered. I would say that the majority of it went to rent. You know, if we're shut down, we still have to pay rent. Without funding, we wouldn't have made it through it. We would have had tons of debt. My staff is my family. Granted, they probably would have been able to find another job, but all of us here are just happy to be in this little niche. The outlook seems wonderful. We've had people that have been coming in where they're like, we haven't seen these people for a year and a half. They chose us to come out and to restart their life.
Without the CARES Act funding and the extraordinary work of our staff, our boards and commissioners to stand up these grant programs and get the funding to those who need it most, I can't imagine how many businesses would not be open today for us to be out and enjoying.
That's just, one business, one example of the people impacted during COVID and by the funding that we were able to provide. But economic development means getting people back to work as well. So Arapahoe Douglas Works provided training to over 14,000 community members. Last year, our staff helped more than 11,500 job seekers find new employment. Because of AD Works, those job seekers earned an average of $3,400 more in annual earnings than other hires in the region, and I think that's really significant, and they measure that, so we know that that's a good number. We make it easier for people to do business in Arapahoe County, and we approved more than 600,000 square feet of commercial development. We passed new responsible oil and gas regulations after a 2-year process that included outreach with key stakeholders and our constituents. These guidelines address key safety, traffic, and quality of life considerations without inhibiting revenue opportunities. Our Public Works and Development Department implemented a new electronic permitting system that makes it easier to apply for permits and for staff to process them more efficiently. And I think we all learned a lot during COVID about how to do things more efficiently, more electronically, and that was really a benefit. Maybe we could think of one or a few during that time. We worked very hard over the past years to ensure that we're on a stable and thoughtful path to managed growth. We continue to look for ways to support our business community and help others see the value in doing business in Arapahoe County. We're also interested in talking with people who want to locate their businesses in our county. That's why we're kicking off an economic development campaign to showcase the county's strengths and our most important ambassadors, our business owners and leaders. We've worked with Colorado-based Omni Corporation for this campaign. This was the same firm that helped us with their award-winning program, our campaign, Keep It Up, which promoted COVID safety measures. This work grew out of the pandemic and our desire to support our businesses hurt by COVID, as well as to showcase the immense opportunities that companies who are looking for a new home. We're going to get a sneak peek of this campaign.
Somewhere just past the rolling foothills, between the grasslands and the glass towers, at the foot of the the mighty Rockies. There's a place where purpose and people prosper. A place where the folks next door are more than neighbors. Where the communities are bound by values. Where new ventures are encouraged. Where the next generation is energized by the future. Where innovation begets innovation. And lifelong dreams are realized. This place is a place you already know. A place you've already improved. And a place invested in improving you. This is Arapahoe County, where good things grow.
So our Where Good Things Grow campaign kicks off next week, and as I said, we'll showcase some members of our business community and other features of our amazing county. As this campaign helps to bring more businesses and more people to the county, we want to make sure that we provide appropriate services. For more about that, I'm going to turn this program over to Commissioner Warren Gully.
Good morning, and thank you, Commissioner Sharp. I'm so sorry I'm not there to be with you in person today, but I am very excited to share some of the news of our programs that we have supporting residents. In Arapahoe County, we like to say that we are here for our neighbors on their best day and their worst. And that is why, for a second year in a row, a lot of our resources and focus have gone to providing help during and after COVID. And one of the most widespread and devastating impacts of the pandemic has been residents experiencing deep rental and mortgage debt. This brings on a fear and anxiety of eviction and loss of basic housing stability, which is an incredibly scary feeling. And that is why our initial distributions of emergency rental assistance funds moved 3 times faster than the national average. That's right. Our funds got into the community supporting our residents 3 times faster than the national average. We kept local families in their homes and focused on basic critical needs, including food, daycare, medical expenses, and employment. In all, a total of 1,071 households received nearly $7.3 million in critical funding. One of the other fantastic programs we got to fund with ARPA dollars is the Family Navigator Program for housing assistance. Our human services offerings are immense, and unlike many other government programs, navigating this can be overwhelming, especially if you're going through difficult times or financial uncertainties. Our Navigator program helps address the multi-layered needs of families experiencing homelessness who are at risk of becoming homeless. These efforts served 381 households. We helped almost all of them achieve temporary, transitional, and/or permanent housing within 3 months of their first contact with us. I have to tell you, it's impressive and not surprising given the incredible work done by our Human Services Department every single day of the year. I'm sure that every single person in this room is aware of our growing population of people experiencing homelessness. A lot of that is because it's so visible. It's a constant reminder of the trauma that some of our neighbors are going through. The amount of people experiencing homelessness in the county more than doubled from 2020 to 2021, and that's staggering. Which is why I'm very excited to report that we've made some great progress in the past year in tackling this issue, as you know, a very complex one. We are working with more than 40 local agencies and municipalities, many of you are in the room today, to take a regional approach to homelessness. We kicked off Homelessness Coordinating Committee, which will manage resources, leverage partnerships, and collaborate to provide enhanced access to services. No one organization, city, county, or town can do this alone. We know a regional approach will help us better share resources and find tools that work. These efforts are now heating up and are being led by our new homeless coordinator, who just started a few weeks ago. One other program I'd like to mention is our Prevention and Community Development Program. I love this program because it helps provide coaching, consultation, and support for local agencies that serve children, families, and at-risk adults. It also supports families involved in the juvenile justice and truancy court systems. It helps families navigate the court system and be successful once those cases are closed. In 2021, the program served more than 1,000 families, which means that the reach is even wider than that number. That helps our community help itself, and isn't that why we're all here? Taking that idea further, one of the other ways we help community is through lifting up our cultural partners. We fund culture through the Science and Cultural Facilities District. We like to say it's a tiny tax that does big things. And this year, 80 local arts and cultural organizations received $2.3 million in funding, a 35% increase from 2020. We really value customer service at the county, and I want to share some more incredible numbers with you. The Motor Vehicle Division, part of the Clerk and Recorder's Office, processed more than 190,000 customer transactions with an average wait time of 15 minutes and an average transaction time of 10 minutes. Now that's a far cry from the days of taking a number and waiting in crowded lobbies. Our assessor's office also did some pioneering with the use of QR codes on the notices of value that get sent out, which makes it easier for taxpayers to locate and review their records. This also allowed us to send postcards rather than the traditional notices, which saved paper, envelope prep time, and postage. It's so rewarding to be here and share good news with you today. So now I'd like to bring up my fellow Commissioner, Jeff Baker, who also gets to share some of the great work being done in our county.
Good morning, everyone. Let me get to the right page here, sorry. I represent District 3, which includes most of the unincorporated area of Arapahoe County and the communities of Watkins, Bennett, Byers, Strasburg, and Deer Trail. Like much of the rest of the county, we're starting to see more growth in all of our areas, all of our districts. One of the most visible parts of this is in our infrastructure, which is handled by Public Works and Development Department. Here's some more numbers. Last year, our Public Works Department placed 43,000 tons of asphalt on 60 center lane miles of county roads. They constructed 30 miles of roadway shoulders and made $883,000 in concrete improvements. We replaced more than 1,200 traffic signs, which was a record number of signs replaced in any year. One of the most exciting and visible construction projects in recent history just wrapped up, and you probably drove through that intersection this morning to get to the fairgrounds. And that's the Quincy Avenue Gun Club intersection. And being in my district, I heard from a lot of people when that first opened up about how confusing it was and how they didn't know which way to turn. I had one lady tell me that I added 10 miles to her daily commute because she would stay on E470 to go to Smoky Hill instead of getting off at Quincy. And I told her, well, have you gone through the intersection? She said, no, I refuse to go through. And I said, well, try it at least once and then call me back. and let me know what you think. I never heard from her again. But I think the more you go through it, the more you realize, and it's just a common sense, follow the signs and you'll do all right. That was a $12.8 million project, which won an award for the 2021 American Public Works Association Colorado Large Transportation Project. This intersection seems to be working beautifully and has been a big help to alleviating congestion near our fairgrounds. And please go through that intersection again to get here to the county fair. Speaking of the fair, we saw you there last year, a lot of you. It was very, very well attended. It exceeded our expectations. It caught us a little bit. It made us rethink a few things. So Shannon Carter, our Director of Open Spaces, is back there, and he'll be working on that. 37,000 visitors to our annual showcase event, which celebrates our agricultural history and our agricultural present. If you haven't had a chance to go drive and visit our communities out on the Eastern Plains, I encourage you to do that. 10,000 more people attended the county fair last year than ever. So it was a previous record, it was our best record so far. They enjoyed 4-H livestock competitions, concerts, rodeos, fireworks, and more. This year, the fair runs from July 28th through the 31st. Few changes, tickets are now $20, which includes free parking. So when you buy a ticket and your constituents and the people in your neighborhood buy these tickets, it includes free parking. It's a great value, unlimited carnival rides, and access to all the concerts, the events, the public competitions, and more. Need I say, beer. We're especially excited to see you on the kickoff event, Boots Not Suits, on Thursday evening. That's a great video. Our fairgrounds are part of our open spaces department, where we have very big accomplishments to celebrate. Of course, in 2021, voters approved to indefinitely fund the open space sales and use tax. It's the 1/4 cent tax that funds our open spaces, parks, trails, and our heritage areas. I would also ask if you can, make sure you get out to our 17-mile house just on Parker Road, just as you head south into Douglas County. The timing couldn't be any better for the voters to have passed that, because our park and trail usage has tripled during the pandemic. We now have a dedicated funding stream for open spaces, which helps us to plan investments and maintenance, and is a continuous funding source that we can borrow against too for those very, very large projects. Excuse me. Last year, we also rearranged some things and moved our CSU Extension office to be under the Open Spaces Department. And that was a terrific idea. CSU and 4-H are now better aligned with county resources and work plans, and producing some amazing programming. Our 4-H program was nationally recognized for demonstrating leadership in innovative programming throughout the pandemic. CSU staff worked tirelessly to design engaging and creative programs, online for youth, and things like virtual baking classes, urban ranching camp, which teaches kids about agriculture, livestock, and animal care. We have a joke among the commissioners about chicken and bees, because backyard chickens, we finally are allowing those in Arapahoe County for certain properties, and bees. So honey, I'm surprised we didn't have honey-coated chicken this morning. But our one more great statistic from the Master Gardener program. In 2021, the group grew 6,533 pounds of produce that was donated to our local food banks. And this is fresh, grown food, very nutritious, and I think that they did a great job with that. Today, you're hearing a lot about our growth and how we manage growth. Last year, we completed 2 important plans that will guide our efforts in this area. Our Public Works and Development Department completed the 2040 Transportation Master Plan. Those of you that I serve with on Dr. Cog will recognize the need for that master plan. It defines improvements, resources, and policies that will keep us moving in and through the county for years to come. We owe a thanks to many of you in this room who helped with that plan, as it really was a joint effort with our municipal, regional, and state partners. We share our infrastructure within our network, and coordination is key. We also completed the Open Spaces Master Plan. It serves as a blueprint for the future of open spaces and is based on extensive research, community input, and feedback from partners, again, including many of you in this room. Thank you all for being here this morning. I'd like to now call on my colleague, Bill Holen, to come up and continue sharing some of the amazing work that's going on in Arapahoe County. Enjoy. Please help yourself to more food, too.
Thank you, Jeff. Good morning, everyone. I'm Commissioner Bill Holt. I represent essentially North Aurora in District 5 and Glendale. First off, I want to thank our staff who worked so hard in putting together this presentation. I think it's there's a heck of a story to tell here, and I think they're doing a marvelous job. In addition, I want to thank the servers here today that provided us with this wonderful breakfast. I'd like to share some of the great work that we're doing with veterans in our public safety area. I'm a proud disabled Vietnam Army veteran, so it's important for me that we not only celebrate, but also take care of those who have protected our freedoms through the service in our military and armed forces. With more than 40,000 veterans living here, and our Veteran Service Officer is staffed staffed by veterans, for veterans, because who better can follow veterans to assist a comrade navigating and applying for and receiving benefits. To better serve the community needs in 2021, we, with the cooperation of Adams County, and I see the mayor is here in Aurora, we've opened an office in Aurora which supplements the service already provided in downtown Littleton. This partnership with the City of Aurora and Adams County helped us serve over 1,381 veterans by appointment. We helped almost 11,000 veterans or their family members with informational phone calls and filed more than 500 new benefit claims that has produced more than $2.7 million in benefits for our veterans. Now we'd like to put on a video.
Arapahoe County Veteran Services is here to assist veterans in their disability and pension claims, but we're really here to act as a bridge to help veterans find the things in their community that they need to get them over obstacles.
We have made this promise to our veterans and their families that if you step up to serve, if you raise the right hand and take that oath and are willing to to give everything for this country, that the country will have your back.
So that's when I set up an appointment, first a virtual and then a walk-in because of COVID, and then a walk-in appointment, and our questions were answered.
Yeah, I mean, it's there for us, and it's something we deserve, and it can be beneficial, and they need to use it. They really need to use it. It's a lot of help.
Why is it important to have VSO offices across the county? Well, clearly it's important because we have a growing veteran population. By having a local office, it'll help significantly make better access to those facilities. Arapahoe County is very much appreciative of the support that the City of Aurora and Adams County is providing in this collaborative effort.
The biggest impact that it can have is to provide them with more than just their disability. I think when people come through our door, the reason they do so is because there's having some kind of a negative impact on their life, and they're looking for ways to overcome that. They have the opportunity to speak with a VSO that is also a veteran, and all of our VSOs are veterans, and there's kind of a camaraderie when you get together with other veterans, so they understand that you can relate to them, that you can understand what they're going through or what they've been through and how that's impacting their life now. Wherever you are in life and wherever you live within Arapahoe County, we are here for you, with offices conveniently located in both Aurora and Littleton. Our Aurora office also serves Adams County veterans through a joint partnership.
Safety, as you know, is among one of our top priorities for residents and always. Our sheriff and his incredible team are always looking for ways to help us even safer. Each year, the sheriff's office receives hundreds of calls involving a mental health crisis. These numbers keep going up, which is why the sheriff has created the Behavioral Health Response Program. It identifies when a call to 911 can be more easily diffused by a trained civilian mental health co-responder. In 2021, Sheriff hired the first 3 licensed mental health crisis workers who are paired with deputies to address calls and involve people with mental illness or experiencing mental trauma. They help de-escalate the situation and get those individuals the service that they need. The Sheriff's Detention Bureau runs the county jail and does so in an aging facility that holds more than 800 inmates at this time. If you ever visit our detention facility, you know how cramped and inadequate it is. Figuring out what to do for the long term remains a board priority. But in the interim, we approved a capital program last year to address the most significant issues, such as medical capabilities and capacities and support services. It is still under design, and we expect construction to begin later this year. There are just a few of the programs and services that help keep our residents safe. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the work of both our Office of Emergency Management and the Coroner's Office. Both of these offices have heavily involved with COVID, and as you know, and set standards for crisis management during the pandemic. We are fantastic partners, and we are grateful for their service. If you'd like to learn more about some of the great work coming out of these 2 offices, you can pick up an annual report in the back of the room. Now I'd like to share some of our current work and visions for the future. To do that, I'm inviting back to the stage Commissioner Nancy Jackson.
Thank you, Commissioner Holland. Before I get started on this particular part, I want to acknowledge that some of our colleagues, friends from the Wind River Reservation are new partners. And some members of the Northern Arapahoe tribe are here. If you folks would just stand and be recognized for a moment. We hope that this is the first of many opportunities to get to know one another. So, even being a part of this great work, I'm just amazed to think about how much we've done, all we're doing, and all we will be doing among all the other things that are happening in this world. We've been working around the clock to ensure that our community is strong, healthy, and vital. And if those words don't make you think of the ideal public health department, what else would? That brings us to our most current pressing project, the creation of the Arapahoe County Public Health Department. When our neighbors to the south and north announced that they were leaving the Tri-County Health Department, we knew that we had to act and act fast. As you know, by law, every county must have a public health department. And thanks to COVID, a lot more people are now familiar with and interested in their public health departments. So, our relationship with Tri-County has been in place for 75 years, and they've been wonderful partners. We're grateful for the dedication shown by our representatives on the Tri-County Board of Health. These talented and courageous individuals helped steer us through the unknowns of the pandemic and have served us very well with our day-to-day health needs for the county. I'd like to have these members join me for recognition, and if you would come up on stage, please. Yes, we're going to embarrass you. Yes, Jan Brainerd, Dr. Thomas Faywell, and Kaya Gallagher. Dr. Gallagher. We have some little mementos for you.
That one's Jan.
This one's Jan's.
Thank you. Isn't that pretty? It is pretty.
Don't want to get fingerprints on it.
I know, right?
Oh, yes. You can read. That's good. Congratulations, and the community owes you really a debt of gratitude, so thank you very much. Thank you. It's always fun to embarrass people, right? Working alongside these members has been the staff at Tri-County Health. We thank you, each and all of you, for your service. We applaud your tenacity and professionalism. We all anticipated that COVID would be an intense time, and you came through with flying colors for more than 2 years. So I know some of you are here. Thank you. We also want to extend a warm thank you, and a special warm thank you, to Tri-County Executive Director John Douglas. Dr. Douglas, are you here? Would you come up and join me, please? Your work has always been to support the health of residents in Adams, Arapahoe, and Douglas County, and we thank you for your leadership and dedication. tell you what, we keep having these ceremonies. I'm gonna. All right. When we announced our plans to build a new public health department, we heard a lot of doubts. You can't do that in a year. That's impossible to pull off. Well, those people who say those things have never met our board. We have phenomenal staff here at the county, and they have helped us enormously to, here we are, a year later, and we're on track to open our new department by January 1st. This has been an incredible feat, an ongoing feat, I may say, and we've had a lot of movement just in the past couple of weeks. In mid-June, we named 5 individuals to a new foundational board of health. This board gives us the legal authority to begin hiring staff and procure all the things we need to start a new health department. And just by the way, Tri-County Health remains in existence, so these fine folks will still be at work until January 1st. Opening up a health department is a complex process. It's daunting. And in another way, it's really fulfilling and exciting. Our new department, of course, will be focused solely on the needs of Arapahoe County residents, businesses, and organizations. We are developing a framework of operations that will help protect our communities and help them thrive. And of course, now we have a video.
Most of us didn't know much about what a public health department did prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. And now you might know more about their role in tracking infectious diseases than you ever wanted to. But that's just one small piece of what a public health department does. We usually only think about health in terms of ourselves or the people we care about. While your doctor's concern is treating you, public health professionals look at a much larger picture, the whole community. They want to prevent you from getting sick in the first place by creating a community where everyone can be healthy. To do that, a public health department gathers data and information from the community. It uses that information to identify the causes of health issues. Then, work begins to address those causes, and community health is continually monitored for new issues that need to be addressed. Some public health services benefit everyone, like restaurant and childcare inspections, or making sure everyone has easy access to immunizations. Some services might mean partnering with other organizations like schools or religious groups to offer no-cost cancer screenings and childhood immunizations. Or public health professionals could work with community leaders to change laws or policies, like advocating to restrict access to e-cigarettes for teenagers, or for safe sidewalks for kids to walk or bike to school. Sometimes it means working with specific populations to make sure they have the resources they need. That could be access to healthy foods, help for new families, or testing for sexually transmitted infections. From helping people get clean water after a fire or flood, to helping mothers and their babies get off to a healthy start, a health department is there to make sure that there is a strong infrastructure to support equitable access to a long, healthy life. For more information on the future of public health in Arapahoe County, visit www.arapahogov.com/health.
Thank you. And all this is going to be done by January 1st. Right, team? Right. Okay. One of the next big projects for the county is to split the 18th Judicial District into 2 separate districts. That work is already underway and will need to be completed by 2025. We will also continue our work addressing the county's aging infrastructure projects, especially as we mentioned the detention center. We remain concerned with and committed to finding solutions for public safety and mobility projects that are critical to the success of growth in Arapahoe County. These projects cannot easily be remedied within our current budget constraints, and the board is exploring different options for solving these challenges. We don't yet know what all that will entail, but we're committed to implementing our strategic plan, which takes a holistic view of the county and prioritizes our work so that we can effectively manage growth while we're maintaining the quality of life. That's really important to us, and we know it's important to you too. We're committed to engaging with our community, business leaders, and others, working in collaboration with our partners and friends, many of whom are here today. And, of course, we're going to continue to engage our residents and stakeholders as we take our next steps into the future. We're so excited for this work, and we can't imagine better partners than those of you in this room. So thank you, each and every one of you. Today, you've heard a lot about our accomplishments and our work in the months and years ahead. And in closing, we want to thank you again. Thank you for being such wonderful partners. Thank you for the encouragement and support you've shown us. And thank you for being a part of Arapahoe County. We can't do this work without you, and we look forward to our work ahead. Thank you for coming. And finally, one more thing. Remember, we want to see you at the fair. Please, you know where it is now, right? No excuses. Join us for the kickoff dinner, Boots Not Suits, on Thursday, July 28th, and I'll see you in line for kettle corn. Take care, everybody. Be safe, be happy. Thank you.